All right, so I'm looking for this breakout here on the NASDAQ. A little bit of a FOMO entry, but we're about to break through this 250 area, and we're looking good. Just want to look for like a 15-point move up here through the 50s, maybe a little higher, actually. I'm going to put this like this. Oops, sorry. Got a bunch of liquidity sitting there at the 250s, and then after that, looking for like 280s up there. So there's that break through the 50s now. I want to see this momentum just ripping here. Looking for that 58 area, and then we're going to target that 80 area next. There we go. Walking in some profit there. And now we'll see if we get to the 80s. Just a waiting game basically now. Bunch of liquidity at the 280s right now. Got my sell at 78s. Just looking for that 70 break here, and then we should get filled right at the 78s next. Looking for 78 push here. 78 to push, 78 to push, and getting filled there. Beautiful little trade. A little bit of a FOMO trade, to be honest. It wasn't like the perfect entry, but I want to talk about why I felt confident to buy into this, right? That 220 area right here acted as support, which was previous resistance. Look at all this resistance here at the 220s. A lot of resistance there at the 220. Look at this, still going higher. Wow. And there's the breakout. Up there to the 18,300s now. Ooh, buddy, but look at this. So basically 220, right? Previous resistance. We knew that was resistance. It denied us multiple times, getting denied there. So look at how this pushes up, 220, up there, almost 18,300 now. I took profit right before that 80 level, and look at it go. What a move. If we look at the NASDAQ, again, talking about the setup, let's just break it down from the beginning to the end. We have our 15-minute opening range right there, 18,170 level. All right, so we get above it. 220 is now acting as resistance here. We break to the downside. We basically trap. Look at this pushback up. This pushback up is very bullish because it's green, big old bullish candles engulfing, right? Look at the body of that candle. Like really look at the body of that candle. Green, right? Big green candles. Look at this thing still going higher right now, by the way. It's still going straight up. 316 now. 320s. Whew. I don't know if I would do with all that profit. But look at this. That's now over 100 points. That's 100 points from my original entry. on this move. 100 points. Amazing. But going back, guys, keeping it simple. The 15-minute range, right? It plays out beautifully here. We get the breakout. We got the VWAP there. Look at the VWAP turning into support. We get above this, but look at how these candles look different. Go to the 2-minute chart here. Look at how these candles are looking different. Look at this big engulfing bullish candle. This is a very bullish candle. You guys see that? Very bullish candle. Right back up there above 18,200. Right above it. It just goes right through it like no problem. It doesn't pull back. It doesn't get stuck. It just goes right through it and then closes above 200. This next candle, a little dip, little push. We break out through the highs and then we start to squeeze up. So we're basically trapping shorts above the highs here for a second. The trap. We had a trap the downside. So the bears got trapped. The bears got trapped again. We got a double trap happening. Double trapping. If we go back to the 1-minute chart, we trap above the highs. We pull back. Again, kind of manipulation, whatever you want to call it, a little fake out. It pulls back, hits that 200 level, it gets brought right back up. So it gets brought right back up. And at this point, I'm like, okay, if we start going, I'm feeling confident this is going to want to push. And the reason, look at this move here as well. We had the high from the overnight. The high from the overnight's 400. 18,400 high from the overnight. That's what we were looking at pre-market for that move up. So I knew that if we get above this 250 area, I probably should have been a little more aggressive, but we pushed right there to the 300s. I wasn't going to be greedy. I was filming this video for you guys, I don't want to, make all the money in the market, but still, look at how the hourly chart, look at the hourly chart, the push up here. Look at the, 15-minute chart. Looks pretty bullish. We're holding there at the VWAP. The VWAP's turning into support. We get the breakout through that 730 high and then now up here into the 300s. Absolutely monster trade here. And I want you guys to see this. Like, we're not just simply putting a perfect line on every time, and we're not perfectly it's kind of a puzzle, right? Trading is a puzzle where you're kind of answering questions as it's happening. You're like, okay, why do I think this is not going to sell down from here? Like, when we're back here at this level, why am I not super bearish at this point? I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not super bearish yet. Okay, well, okay, but the problem is we know that we kind of had this area here earlier, 18,100. No reason to get short. We're inside the 15-minute range. No reason to really do anything at that point. So 15-minute range, we already know that's there. So as long as we're kind of in this, top half or top quarter of the 15-minute range, no reason to really do anything. Okay, it's dipping a little bit more, but still kind of holding up. We got a little bit of support there. Remember, we're always looking to the left. We're always looking back at the price action to find our levels. We're not just magically being well, maybe it's going to bounce. No. We're looking for these levels, right? And okay, are we going to break? Are we going to break? And then bam, we squeeze right back up there above the 15-minute range. So now I'm like, well, now I'm definitely bullish if we break out through this 220 level. We had this big candle, this big candle. We got a lot of wicks up here at this level. So if we can get through all this, it's a rocket ship to the upside. And as you see, kind of, again, right there. Okay, we break the upside. All right. Again, but this is very key. This little candle right here, right? You saw this little candle? That wick pushing right back up there after that dip. Bullish. A little bit of a trap above again. All right, we're kind of right there holding that 220. We're holding the middle of this little breakout. Look at how this candle kind of breaks out from 206 up there to the 220. So you kind of have this little spot here where that is important to battle. You really want to hold this as support. You want to kind of bounce off that previous area of resistance and kind of push back up there. And you can see 18,200. All right, we're pushing, looks good. So we kind of look, all right. Oh, and here is that breakout, and my entry was right where did I get long? I got long at 241. So 241 right there, getting long for the push up, and look at that, just ramp. We talk about this, throughout the course. What are we doing right here? What are we doing? We're consolidating, right? We're going sideways, basically. We're consolidating. We expect that if we break out, we get, 100 point, 200 point move the upside. The next pivot point's not till 480. The VWAP's there. Everything's bullish, right? There's no reason to think that this is that I should be short. That's really the biggest thing here, is trying to stop yourself from fighting the trend. The biggest problem for new traders is fighting the trend, Stop yourself. You got to see the picture, but see it on a different level than just simply what it is. You got to understand it. Like, hey, it makes sense, right? The market kind of dips down. The buyers step in here again. They push it up. The short sellers get overwhelmed. They have to get stopped out. They're getting stopped out. It's squeezing, and they're getting pushed out of that trade. And it basically creates momentum, right? Momentum in the market, seeing this big momentum candle, this big bullish candle, engulfing candle pushing back up. Momentum's coming in. There's no wick. I mean, it was literally just boom, right up there. So you see the previous candles where there's wicks on both sides. That's indecision. The market is battling. The bears, the bulls are battling. But when you see this type of candle where it pushes straight back up, right up into that resistance, right up into that level, through the VWAP, all those things, you're like, damn, like that looks pretty bullish. Like that's a pretty bullish move to get back above the VWAP, to get through all that resistance there, and then start to squeeze. That's your setup. This is your bull flag. This. If you're watching this video, you probably have watched the entire course at this point, but you can see the bull flag playing out perfectly there. The pullback, we kind of pulled back into that 120 level, which was kind of that breakout level from before. They trap the shorts and then they squeeze them right out. And there's that 120 point move. I showed you guys the live trade. I'm not just sitting here talking in hindsight. We're talking about this all while it's happening. So hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. I really do hope that this gives you a lot of value. And I think it's the purpose of this video itself is so that you see it's not always black and white. It's not always like simply like, okay, I'll just buy out if it breaks out. I'll just buy out. No, I'll just buy if it breaks out. No. You got to be a little patient. You got to kind of see what's happening, understand the dynamics, understand that when there's all this resistance there, all that pressure, well, it's going to kind of push the market down. But then once those buyers start to step in, it's going to squeeze them out. And then you get these types of moves. Remember, buyers want to sell. Buyers want to buy low, and sellers want to sell high. So if I'm a buyer, I don't want to buy here. I want to buy here. I want to buy, as low as I can get it, or into a support zone and things like that. Like if I'm a buyer, if I'm holding for these bigger moves, I don't want to be buying at the top of the move. For us as momentum traders, we're basically letting those bigger traders, the guys that are moving the market, let the market do its thing. Once we see momentum, once we see an opportunity to get long or to get short, that's when we're taking our trade. We're seeing the picture. The picture is, hey, bull flag, VWAP, 15-minute range. Everything that we talked about here in the course playing out beautifully here today. And as you guys can see, again, showed you the trade, showed it all live, and there's the move. From the 41s, up there are the 78s. Is it the biggest trade ever? No. But that's all you need. That's all you need. 30, 40, 50 points. You got to love it. You got to love it, my friends. And look at this thing. The NASDAQ making the move. So there it is. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, I guess we don't really need that. We're in the course.